Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to swing my thing around. It was like, you know what? Okay, I'm with you now.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Sunday afternoon right before football's about to start. Well, actually, they had a morning game in another country. You know, they've been doing that lately. This Sunday morning football. But you guys know where to find us. Just search The Black Guy Who Tips and we'll come up. You want to watch the show live, you can check out The Black Guy Who Tips, searching that on crowdcast.io. You can come in, hang out, and get notified whenever we go live and see what we're going to talk about that day. The official weapon of the show is...
the chair,
and the unofficial sport
is bullet ball
and bullet ball extreme.
You had to be sure you broke it down a little, so give my brain time to process the question.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, trying to help out.
Thank you.
Of course, you know how we've been starting lately with the show. We start with the banter segment. Okay, so it's time for us to banter. Karen, are you ready to do some bantering?
I actually am.
Okay. All right. Here's some music to get us started. I'm still waiting on the beat to drop. All right, Karen, it's banter time. What's going on with you today?
I got three. I'm
okay. You got three banters.
Yes.
All right.
I'm proud of myself.
I don't know that it's supposed to go. That I think you're just supposed to just get right into it, like
oh my bad.
I mean, that's the way the other podcasts do it. They just pretend like they didn't come up with them. They like, oh, you know, I was thinking about biscuits today, and you just start talking about your biscuit joke.
Oh, but see, I'm sorry.
We're getting better every time. It's okay.
Thank you. See, he cued me and y'all to the behind the scenes. My bad. Okay, I was ready to play it. You know, I was playing my video games. You know how I like to play.
Oh yeah, you play video games all the time. I like video games.
So
you mean electronic games that you can play with controller devices and whatnot?
Yes, I was playing one of them what's the gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
And I love cozy games. For those of you that listen to the Nerd Off, for those of you that like, what the hell is a cozy game? They're games that are very bright and colorful, and you could do like simple shit like farm and things like that. And they're normally not shooter. Sometimes they can be action. Sometimes they can be shooter, depending on the structure of the game.
And for those of y'all that don't know what the Nerd Off is, that's our behind the paywall podcast about nerd stuff.
Yes. So I know somebody listening go, yay, she talk about nerd shit. This won't be long, but I'm gonna go ahead. I wonder why, because you know we have a Facebook VR headset.
The MetaQuest.
Yes, the MetaQuest. And I like it, but I always wonder why they don't have, you know, because they have video games for like The Walking Dead. They have them for Star Wars. You know, they have them if you want to work out. And it's really, really immersive and fun. I wonder why they don't have them for like cozy games. Cozy games would actually be perfect on this format. Like really, really perfect.
Like with the immersive cozy game where you're like planting stuff, but you're really just sitting in your living room.
Yes. You know, and the reason why I thought about this, because I've been playing this game called Bear and Breakfast, and I've been playing it off and on for a while, but I just kind of got back into it, and I really, really love this game. So what you're a bear who actually has a bed and breakfast, and people come and they go to your bed and breakfast.
You eat the people.
No.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, this is not cocaine bear. This is, you know, this is this is the bear that's like, hey people, you know, would you like a bed and a place to stay? I'll make you food, you know, type of thing. And so I've always wondered why they don't take advantage of this feature, because I think that a lot more of these VR shit would sell if they had like a Pokemon VR game, if they had like,
Mm.
something like that, that was be like,
I'm
hey,
surprised they don't have that stuff. You've looked and they just didn't have them in the store?
no, they
Okay,
don't.
wow. That is amazing. That's such a missed opportunity, but maybe it's harder to program than we think or something. But it just seems like, I mean, a no-brainer, especially because it's not something that relies on fine touch controls normally. It's very
Mm-mm,
like laid back. You normally don't have fights in it.
mm-mm.
You know.
And to me, look like the fighting shit is be more difficult because, like I said, I play
Mhm.
that Star Wars stuff, and it requires certain things. But I could see some people going, "This is too difficult. This
Yeah,
is too hard to
exactly.
follow."
Yeah, I tried to play The Walking Dead or something, and I just couldn't get over the like whatever that feeling of you're not physically moving, but the screen around your eyes is making you feel like you're moving. I just kept getting like a weird type of seasick feeling, and so but I can work out in it. I'll do like
Yeah, I could work
other
out.
stuff, but
Hmm.
that type of game specifically didn't do anything for me. I even tried like a cooking game that's laid back in it where
That
you have to move around the kitchen.
eh,
It just gives me that seasick feeling.
that one wasn't fun. It's like,
Mhm.
I think when it comes to like the VR, if they want, not trying to find the masses to move over to it, they've got to find a way, like you said, to cut down on that. I don't have as much as you do,
Mhm.
but periodically, if it moves too fast, something like that, you'll feel it.
Mhm.
They need to fix that. And they also need to fix it where you don't feel like you're a robot. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Where
Mhm.
where, where you can do things and it's more flowy feeling
Yeah, when you
versus.
move around, it feels like you're on literal wheels.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, they need to make it where if you want it to be immersive, it needs to be completely, in my opinion, particularly if you want to do something like a cozy game, it needs to be completely immersive where you landed me in this and I look around and no, I can't feel it, but I ought to be able to reach out and feel like I'm feeling the grass. I ought to be able to
Mhm.
feel like I'm, digging the dirt. If I'm shooting a gun, I ought to be able to feel like I'm really shooting a gun versus I
Yeah,
feel all
you might be getting
blocky.
into like some haptic feedback area of it where like the controllers need to vibrate or something like that. I think it's gonna be hard to feel like you're digging in dirt just because you're not,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they don't have a device on the in your hand that can give you resistance feeling like. So I don't know that you'll ever feel
Ah.
like it, but I think your idea is great, and I wonder if someone's already working on like cozy games for MetaQuest because that seems like a perfect combination of things.
Yeah, and also I don't remember the name of the game. They have like one game that's it's somewhat cozy, but you can tell like they created it on their own. And the thing about the game, it was really cute and really colorful. But the thing about it is the perception between what's in your glasses and the things going on around you sometimes was off because I would be playing and the little creature I was with turned around and it was too close and scared the shit out of me and I jumped. I jumped up and I was like, oh shit, what's that? Oh, it's the creature. So, it's little things like that. Like if you're gonna get it, you need to be able to adjust. Because I know they have like parameters around it and things like that. But just little things that I feel like if they change these things, I think that you would have a lot of casual people that would buy it just for it because people underestimate the cozy game market. Not trying to funny. A lot of these cozy games, they ain't for the kids, they for the adults. Like there are kids who will play these games, but I know the ones I play, and I be looking like the I follow a lot of cozy gamers on YouTube. Like this is their jam. Like we do cozy games. They might do other games too, but they have a large cozy game catalog that they do also. And so a lot of times like the tips and the trips and they're all talking towards adults, like they're not talking towards kids. And that's what made me think, I was like, oh, everybody think that this shit is for the children, but it's not. A lot of them are designed for adults like me who just want to play these games and just have a good time. But I hope that they do that. And I remember I don't know if it was a day or two ago, a few days ago, we was at the a restaurant, and I don't know if you realize this now, but somebody behind us, I think it was like their birthday or something,
I
and
remember hearing that.
somebody behind us was like, "Hey, it's such such. It's my birthday. I'm at the restaurant." And to me, it was like really, I won't say crazy, but it's almost like seeing like a Instagram boyfriend out in the wild. Because I was like, oh, people really do this shit. shit. Like,
oh, you mean they were on their phone doing a video?
Yes, not and they weren't pointing towards us, they were pointing like towards themselves.
Yeah.
But it was just wild to just be doing something and somebody like, hey, it's your boy out in the car. You were like, oh shit, am I gonna be on the video? I didn't ask to be on it. What's happening here?
That's how the videos go up. You know, that's the girl eating the pancakes or whatever.
That's true.
I mean,
well, I'd have been in the back of the video going, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I mean, that's not that hard to explain, like, but like someone having a birthday. But yeah, it is something where, I don't know, it says something about the fact that we aren't trying to, we might not be camera ready. You know, I'm just there to pick up some sushi and go back home, and now I'm part of what you've decided is your online experience and your content to your fans or whatever. But you know, somebody could be in there with their mistress. You know, like it could who knows what the fuck is happening. You know, somebody could be on parole. It's like, I'm not supposed to be in this state. But yeah, I mean, I think I didn't even really clock it because I just feel like that's par for the course now.
You know, that's true. But I think for me, most of the time, I don't mean I kind of see it coming, but this is just literally out the blue. Mm-hmm. You know, like you see somebody celebrate, you go, okay, yeah, that fit me. But it was just like, boop.
Well, I heard them singing the song.
Oh, I didn't hear them sing it. Okay.
I mean, maybe we talking about two different times. But,
okay.
Is it when we was in Rusan's or somewhere different?
It may have been somewhere different.
But okay.
Also, you heard somebody singing Happy Birthday?
Yeah, well, that was in Rusan's. They were making like a big ass production of it backstage. It was like, oh, the Happy Birthday singing, and all the waiters and clapping. I was like, damn.
Like somebody having a ball. In that case, that was understandable. Mm-hmm. But I forgot we were somewhere, and it was just really quietly. The person just turned their camera on and just going at it.
They were by themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I don't remember that.
Because your back was turned to them. Because that's what I think you were paying for the meal or something. Your back was turned to them, and I was doing something. I happened to look around, and they was in the corner going, hey, it's my birthday. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh shit.
There's something like sad about that. I mean, I don't want to make that person sad. And if it's you out there, I hope you don't feel sad. But there's something sad about like turning on the camera to like sell like this upper like version of yourself. Cause you know, you're probably just sitting there eating your cake or whatever. Like it's like you're gonna sit there quietly. It's not like that person was making disturbances and making the video the whole time, but
they weren't bothering nobody. It was just out the blue to me.
You're by yourself. It's your birthday, and then you're telling these people on the internet, you know, like, "Hey, turn up! It's your girl." But it's kind of like a quiet, laid back thing. I don't know. There's something there. It's something there, but I don't want that person to feel sad. If they're happy, they're happy. But it just to me feels like, I don't know. Feels like another symptom of just like social media and us having to sell like a higher sped up version of ourselves, as opposed to like the real self is I sat here quietly and ate my cake and I'm happy it's my birthday. Maybe I didn't even want to go out with people and shit, but you know, at the same time, maybe it shouldn't really matter to me who the fuck sees it on the internet either. Like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's side of that, like I said, because I'm old and black, I'm looking like the fuck is happening here. So so some of it may be that, you know, and like I said, there are times where I do turn the camera on myself too. I don't get me wrong, but it was just kind of out the blue for me, just to kind of see it in the wild like that. You know, normally it's other things happening that would cause somebody just to be like boop, and so I thought that was just kind of strange. And the last thing for the segment, I happened to be online and I saw that Anthony Hamilton had some grits, and bitch, I bought some.
Okay.
Because I can't wait to open up that bag and it sang me in Negro spiritual. I am ready for them grits to get here.
Sound like you're gonna be a little disappointed with these grits, because
I
don't think they're gonna get up and start singing to you, you know.
I can't wait to get these grits.
Yeah, people like Anthony Hamilton's voice feels like soul food.
Yeah, it does. That's why I bought them.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get them.
He should put his picture on like a bag of pig feet.
They had cornbread, they had grits. They had some other stuff on the site too. I was like, let's go.
They not going far enough with it. I think he should, like I said, it should be on like chitlins. Like Anthony Hamilton chitlins. Uh,
Anthony Hamilton Ham Hocks, child, yes.
Ham hocks and gravy. Anthony Chill, the turkey necks.
With
Where's his people? He need to be like Patty Pies, but we need Anthony.
Yes, with that
Hamilton.
soulful voice, I am here for it. I enjoy that man.
Hamilton Ham Hocks.
Yes, Hamilton Ham Hocks.
That could be the new Patty Pies.
I am completely
Hamilton Hocks.
Hamilton Hocks. Let's go. The food for your soul. Let's go. I am here for it. Like, I really am here for it. So they got me. I might be disappointed, but child, I want them grits. I can't wait till they get here. That's it for me.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your banter, Karen. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's all over the place.
No, that's what banter is,
Okay.
Karen. Okay, we just bantering about different stuff that's happening. I know what I wanted to bring up real quick was some music. This motherfucking Jaguar 2 Victoria Monet album.
Yes!
Are you into it now?
Yes, because what's so funny, I really have been, I'm not gonna lie, Janelle Monáe, whenever I'm on Tidal, it be like, all your money going to Janelle Monáe this month. I'm like, bitch, yes, press again. Because her motherfucking most recent album is goddamn flames from the first to the start. Them bitches flow like they like, it goes from like one to the other. It's similar. It's not the same as Beyonce, but it's similar to Beyonce, where you're listening to Renaissance and sometimes the track is transitioned and you don't realize the track is transitioned. That's how this album is. It is motherfucking flames from the start to the finish. If y'all have not listened to her latest album, it is fucking flames. So when Roger told me about the Jaguar 2, I just knew the last name. I didn't know the first name because it matches Janelle Monáe, and I couldn't find it. So he finally got me on it because he's been playing it. If you guys come early, and for those of you that are listening kind of after the fact, if you come early to the chat, he plays music and he keep playing. Now every time he plays something from the album, I ask him the same thing. I'm not the audience. Who is that? So I finally sit down and listen to it, and honey, that Jaguar 2 flames, honey. She is growling in the background. She is talking about them niggas. And I'm like, bitch, I am here for the motherfucking ride. Let's go.
And it's one of those where it's only 35 minutes. So the replayability is very high for me because I can just like roll it back to the beginning. And, I love being in love with an album because a different song, like when I really, really love an album, a different song could get stuck in my head literally every single day. Like I'll wake up in the morning and it's a different song than the one it was yesterday. I'll just be sitting somewhere, humming to myself, can't you see I'm the one, or whatever. Now that's stuck in my head all day. And so, yeah, this album, I don't know how, but it kind of grew on me. Like, and I think because I was coming off of listening to Renaissance so fucking much, like when you listen to one thing all the goddamn time, you just start feeling like that's all I'm gonna be listening to. But it just slowly, like I heard it once or twice and I was like, okay, yeah, but I'm gonna go back to Renaissance real quick. And then it just gave me a couple earworms, and next thing you know, I was into it. And the album has so many different feels to it. Buju Banton is on it for Party Girls, which is like a almost like a Jamaican style song. Of course, Lucky Day is on Smoke, the first song on the album. She got a song with Earth, Wind, and Fire, Hollywood. Oh my God, like
it's so good.
It's such a versatile album. She's able to give you all the feels.
I have a question. Does somebody from the internet one of the albums sounds just like an internet song? The internet, the group. And so I was like, I wonder, did some of them or somebody have a hand in it, or did she may have used a beat that's similar to theirs?
I don't know. I haven't done like a deep dive on like who produced tracks and stuff. Okay. So I wouldn't know. I just know from the features that she has, like, and just the vibes of the different songs. But yeah, it's a dope ass album. I love Stop Asking Me for Shit. It's funny, but it's good. Like, yes, I love stuff like that. So yeah, I'm fucking with that album. And I'm gonna tell you, man. I know he's canceled, whatever for a lot of folks, but cancel ain't never really had shit to do with music for me. I've been listening to people that do and say horrible shit my whole life.
Yes, sir.
But this motherfucking Killer Mike album, that's the rap album of the year to me so far. I don't even think it's close.
Shit now. I just wish he stay in that lane. That's all.
Yeah, I know everybody has to voice their dislike, but like I said, I listened to the shit, and that motherfucking Michael,
I bet you go hard.
In a year of a lot of kind of disappointing albums to me, where like people dropped albums, people been anticipating them all year, and then you get the album and it's like, damn, this wasn't it, you know? Like, no offense to some of the people I'm about to name, you know, and maybe there'll be people dropping albums later in the year that make me feel differently, but like, I know people was very disappointed with Drake. You know, people say they was disappointed with I think it was maybe Travis Scott. I haven't listened to his album, but
me either.
People, but it's been a lot of letdowns, is what I'm saying. Like people going, okay, this the album, and then the album comes out and everybody's like, at least on the rap side. I'm not saying R&B or other genres of music, but you know, I even seen somebody calling the West Side Gun album a letdown, and that shit just dropped like a couple of days ago.
Sometimes I wonder, did it even digest in your system?
Yeah, I don't have whatever that fast response to music. I just try to stay out of that.
Yeah, like, I like to let music wash and soak over me before I actually kind of judge it all jokes aside. Yeah,
I try to stay out of that instant reaction shit. Like I make jokes about instant reaction, but I'm like, I just heard one track of this song, it's the greatest of all time. But in general, it's too soon to be saying some shit is whack because too many albums have grown on me. I still remember the biggest one of all time was motherfucking AT-Aliens, man. I remember when I first coming off a Southern Playlist
album, yes.
And I got it. I stood in line to get the album on like a Tuesday night, I think, or midnight, or whenever albums used to drop, Monday night at midnight, whatever. And I remember driving back to campus, listening to the songs and being like, oh man, what the fuck did they do?
And you know what? And that's people respond for every single one of their albums almost, because none of them shit sounds the same. But Chad, after a while, you were like, this is my bop.
I remember thinking like, fuck, man, I love this group. And the sophomore slump hit them. And then just, I you know, of course, didn't stop listening. And then like, all of a sudden songs was growing on me. And I was like, oh wait, I see the vision. This is different. These niggas ahead of their time.
Yeah, they were.
And nobody else is ever gonna sound as good as these dudes. And I felt like Outkast did that for damn near every album. I felt like, they did. No one's gonna sound, they ahead of everybody.
Nobody gonna sound it. And even to today, nobody has duplicated them.
Nobody has sounded like AT-Aliens yet.
Oh no.
Like period, you know, and I love like Earth Gang and shit like that, but that's different to me. I think Earth Gang in a lot of cases are as ahead of other people as Outkast felt to me. Well, I don't think people got caught up in some other shit with them, but I love Earth Gang. But anyway, that Michael, oh my god, this nigga can rap, and the beats and production and the southern like gospel backing mixed with the hip hop, and you know he always had one of them voices, like one of the best MC voices, period. You know, it's like with Chuck D, like certain niggas got the rap voice, and you be like, they could just be rapping a recipe or some shit, and you be like, this motherfucker spitting, and it's like they just got that perfect authoritative like type of vibe to it. Andre 3000's on this album, but I mean everybody's on this fucking album. The features are crazy. And I think especially for y'all that are older rap fans and shit, you'll like this album if you're like an old school, especially Southern rap. But you'll also get introduced to a lot of acts that y'all probably don't fuck with because y'all old and don't listen to them.
Yeah, y'all don't keep up with stuff.
You know, and I mean, it's a good, like, Jagged Edge is on this album. It's a good, like...
They didn't bring back the Jagged Edge. Come on!
Black, aka Six Lack. That's right. I know how we say it as older blacks. So what's that boy? Six Lack.
Come on, Six Lack.
Six Lack on it. Currency, 2 Chainz. Andre 3000. I said, this is bananas. nobody making a better rap album than this so far in 2023. So I just thought I'd give y'all a couple music things and get out of the banner segment, and we'll move into just the regular news. Okay. Or actually, you know what? We can move into gender wars. Let's just get right into gender wars. That's what y'all came for.
That's what y'all came for.
Yeah, you know what? Cause you know who. Yeah, you know what?
All right, gender wars time. All right, it's time to fight.
Let them fight.
Let them fight. I know y'all already been fighting because anytime we do Walking Dead on Wednesday, we obviously don't talk about the gender wars of the day. So you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days worth of gender wars have still happening because gender wars don't stop. There's never a break.
Can't stop, won't stop.
And there's very rarely a 2-day story. Like it's almost always the gender war of the day, and then we move on to the next thing.
To the next war.
We don't really get to revel in the gender wars. It's like, oh, you didn't say what you need to say about the girl and the thing. Oh, it's too late. We talking about something else.
Too late. We don't move on.
But there's one couple that's always at the center of the gender wars for the last however long it's been.
Okay.
And that's Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. Okay.
That's why we haven't talked about this.
Okay. They can stay. Okay. They got staying power.
Yes, longevity.
The thing you have to recognize about them though is this. I've been watching the conversations around this. The stories don't add up when it comes to what each of these people is supposed to represent, because it's Jada, right? Will got their kids, but not so much their kids, but you got the kids, but they not in it. They just, how we feel about their kids.
Right.
And Chris Rock is not really in this, but he's in it. We literally at this point cannot talk about Will and Jada without Chris Rock being in it, to the point where I saw an article where Chris Rock was like, I would like for them to stop talking about me. And I saw people being like, you made your special about them. Like, he never talked about it until then.
I agreed.
And honestly, even when he was talking about that in his special, it was, and I would like to be left out of this shit. This is about y'all, not me.
Not me.
But I think the Chris Rock hate is interesting because, so these are the 3 archetypes that I've seen online. This is the worst version of all of them. Okay. Chris Rock, obsessed with Jada Pinkett, horrible human being, loves whiteness, hates black people.
Okay, how the internet speaks.
Yeah, I'm giving you the worst version of all 3 people. Loves white people, hates black people, and picked on Jada Pinkett on purpose and deserved to be slapped because he was trying to pick on her alopecia on purpose because he hates her. Okay. And he hates her because she won't fuck him. Got it. That's the worst version of him. Worst version of Jada, evil woman who hates her husband, is manipulative and a liar, and she is constantly, selling us versions of her life that make Will Smith look the worst, emasculating him, cuckolding him. And she orchestrated basically the entire thing of Will eventually lashing out, because why wouldn't he lash out? This woman is terrible and she's making him look bad all the time, and he can't hit her. So he hit Chris Rock because, well, she did that to him. All right. That's the version of her. That's the worst. And then Will Smith, narcissist abuser who manipulated Jada Pinkett into marrying him and having 2 children. Of course, she had no role in any of this. He abused her into this. And serial cheater that drove Jada to this, and then he revels in the fact that she gets all the blame and he's seen as a hero. That's the worst version of the Will Smith thing, I believe. I don't think any of that is true for all three of them. Like all just because all of it can't be true. I'm not saying some of it can't be whatever. All of that can't be true for all of them. But watching how that everyone bumps into each other. This is what I've been studying the last 4 days. How much that bumps into each other's narratives. Like someone brings up something with Jada, they have to pitch her as like an innocent maiden who just unfortunately was fell into love with this man, and she didn't really want to be with him. Okay, we all know that. No, who wants to be with Will Smith just because you fucking him while he's married to his ex-wife? No, that's not. It's just he made her do these things, right? So you got that, and then Will, he innocent victim of this predatory woman, blah blah blah, and it's like, oh shit, I did forget one thing with Jada Pinkett Smith. She fucked her son's best friend, who's younger than her and a lot younger than her, and was kind of a matriarchal figure in that kid's life. And he lost it. His mom died and his sister died. He was like, or his mom died and I think his sister died too, but he was responsible for taking care of the rest of his family. And then here comes this lecherous older woman preying on him, grooming him, and all that. I can't forget that too, because that gets left out.
Yes.
But I feel like all of these versions of things I'm saying could be true, and to some extent, they're valid beliefs in all these people's like flaws and stuff, but they never make the story clear. Like none of it, nobody's story can be perfect as far as like this is who the good guy is, because they've all kind of done some weird, repugnant shit, and I think that's what I find interesting. So now we get to the present day. Why are we talking about this like it's new? Jada got a book tour. She wrote a book. She got a book tour coming out. So she's doing interviews. In the interviews, she's, of course, dropping nuggets that will sell the book.
Yes.
And then the press is doing what they always do. They did this with Will Smith's book, too. The press then gives us like one excerpt a day from an interview as if it's a bombshell. Like Will Smith woke up that morning and is like, and another thing, right? But really it's like you sat down with Kathy and whatever the other woman is, and y'all did like the morning show. And then we just keep seeing little clips, right? So in this case, she had her press run started with a bombshell. They have been living separate lives, Will and Jada, since like 2017. Her book Worthy is what she's promoting, and she's like, we basically been living separately, as in divorced. She used the word divorced even, since 2017. Which is a pretty big bombshell in my opinion. Even if you thought they had an open relationship, whatever fuck, you thought they had a marriage. They the ones did all the fucking red table talks and stuff like that, sold books. They were presently telling us this is a marriage, this is a functional thing. They told stories as if they were together, as if they were pledged to each other, as if no matter how rough things got, we'll still always be together in a marriage, not just in a like relationship or friendship or parenting. They said those words.
Yeah, nobody asked for that.
Yeah, here's a clip.
There were different stages in my marriage where Will and I decided we were not together, where we didn't tell the public, right? Where I was actually thinking about divorcing, separating. I mean, there have been several of those, right? And where we've gone and lived our separate lives. So I think within that is where people might have thought that, oh, they must be having an open relationship. And we just didn't want people to know the dynamic of what was happening between us. We didn't think that that was anybody else's business. And so I think that that's where sometimes that confusion came in.
And so that's just one clip of it. I'm sure I have more, but I think that's a more nicer framing of what she was saying in the earlier clip, where she basically said like, we actually were divorced. Like I think it was with how do you pronounce his name? It looks like HOTB, but
What's that? HODA? HO.
yeah,
I'm not sure how you spell it.
I'll figure it out.
Mhm.
But yeah, the point being, like, in these interviews, she's saying stuff that is pretty bombshell stuff. Another thing she said was that Chris Rock apologized to her after the slap, which I think is a pretty big thing to hold back from people during this whole thing, because the idea has been like Chris Rock deserved to be slapped unrepentantly, was dogging her, was trying to da, and he was like, I'm sorry, I don't even know why that, I didn't know this was gonna be blah blah blah. She says, Chris looks to me and says, Jada meant no harm. And she says, I'm just out of it because I'm really worried about Will, and Will's still talking. Now he's mad because Chris is talking to me. I go, Chris, this is about some old shit. That's all I could think of saying, right? And I couldn't really take in his apology. So this whole like idea that Chris was like unrepentant or didn't give a fuck or, meant to hurt her feelings and shit, I don't know. I think that goes a long way into like showing you the weirdness of this all, because I think when she was talking in that video about like, I just think these are two men that, we would love to see come together, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's interesting that you didn't mention like Chris apologized. I think that's very, very relevant.
I do too.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
think
I do too.
in a world that
Yeah,
thinks this man, hates her and
Yeah.
was trying to like do this, I feel like if your husband slapped me in a way that I felt was unwarranted, I probably wouldn't apologize to you if I felt I was warranted. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And also it's one of those things too, to where at that period of time it wouldn't have mattered because people had already dug their feet in the ground. So I could see her going, okay, tell me, it matters. Isn't gonna change the public view.
But it matters in that she's the one who practices radical transparency, honesty, blah blah blah.
Okay, I get that. Yes.
To me, it's wild to be the I'm gonna tell y'all everything person, and then when push comes to shove, it's like, well, I'm not gonna that's private. They like what? Anyway, that's the thing that's interesting. But and she also said that when they were separated but nobody knew, there was a rumor that she and Will were getting divorced. Chris Rock called her and basically said he'd like to take her out. And then she said, what do you mean? And he said, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? And she said, no, Chris, those are just rumors. And he was appalled. He profusely apologized. And that was that. That's in her book too. So, and I think obviously the other way to spin it is Chris Rock always wanted that woman. So he was making these comments knowing that she wouldn't get with him. And this is about him trying to destroy her, but not sleeping with him, which, if that's how people think that's how that went down, that's fine. But I don't know. I think there's some nuance in between those two versions. Here's the clip I was telling you about with Kathy Lee, or I think Hoda Kotb. Is that how you say it? I hope I'm saying it right. Hoda and Jada Pinkett interview.
Rock, after Chris made a crack about Jada's hair.
I could tell it bothered you. You did an eye roll.
Right. Yeah. And I did that eye roll, not so much for me. And I think this is really important, but the fact that there could be a jab at alopecia.
Will then went on a profane tirade warning Chris not to mention his wife's name. Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing.
What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. I'm like, what is going on right now?
My wife.
Now, some people think this is making Will look bad because she's saying like, we weren't even really together. He was not seeing me as his wife in that way in a long time. So basically it makes the slap look even more deranged. Like, we're not together. Why the fuck are you slapping this man? This isn't even about your ownership or control of me, because we don't, like, you're not defending my honor, really. We ain't even together. This is all a fake thing on your behalf. So some people think she shouldn't have said that because it made Will look bad.
Wife's name out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, But now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on.
What viewers did not see at the time, while Oscar clips were being shown, was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada.
And Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm. Now I'm just out of it because I'm really worried about
And
Will.
what's Will doing? He's just sitting there.
Which is interesting. Everybody's worried about Will in this scenario. And I find it interesting on two fronts. Number one, the people that act like the slap was no big deal,
Right.
have always been huge hypocrites to me, because everyone that knows Will Smith, the person, is like, he was completely out of character, out of control. We were worried. What was he like breaking down? Was something happening to him? It wasn't the cavalier, like, so I had to slap a nigga. And it was this motherfucker's sobbing in his seat is he even gonna get it together during commercial break? Do we have to get him out of here? Will police need to be called? And I always find that extremely hypocritical from the Words Are Violence crew, because these motherfuckers literally are like, no one who saw this actual violence should have felt any way about it.
Right.
They still pick on people to this day, when like Leslie Jones, who Chris Rock is a huge like influential person in her career and friend to her, when Leslie Jones brings it up in her tell-all book, people are like, what the fuck, bitch? You can't get over it by now? Y'all aren't over it.
No, you're
Y'all
not.
are still attacking people for saying they felt a way about watching this man get slapped. That's their friend.
Yeah, and also, I'm not trying to be funny. If it didn't mean anything, you didn't feel the way, what the fuck are you keep jumping into everybody's conversation for? Just let it mean nothing to you and go the fuck away then.
Yeah, it's just huge bullshit. Like, it was a huge moment that happened in front of everybody. So this idea, like, white people, it's black people business, not at the Oscars. The Oscars ain't black people business.
And no, it's not.
No, you can't have a insular cultural moment in front of the world. It just don't work that way. So but like I said, this has been one of the most fascinating things. I don't even pretend to be sick of this. I don't even do the like, oh, here comes Jada again. Every other podcast gonna do that, and then they gonna talk about it as long as we talk about it. So I'm not even gonna be a hypocrite. I love this mess. I came here for the mess, but it's the examination of how people talk about it that's more fascinating to me than almost even the people involved.
Yeah,
and Will's still talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you said something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because it's also at this thing where for a lot of people for decades, they've always looked at Will and Jada as quote unquote relationship goals. They always, looked at them as quote unquote, this is what love is supposed to be, or whatever the case may be. And it goes back down to two basic things. Is the attention economy, and it also boils down to what do you call that, stands. A lot of this stuff boils down to a lot of that stuff.
Here's the difference though, Karen. I think they sell relationship to us.
Yes, they do.
So I think it's different in a way. Like, they made it, especially Jada, made it a huge part of like her brand as a celebrity. Like, I'd say at this point, people know her more for Red Table Talk than her movie and TV roles of the last few, like since say like 2000, whenever Red Table Talk started. Since then, more people get their news about her from like stuff she said there and stuff with her and her relationship with Will, than like, oh, she was in this movie. She was like telling her business has become a business. So it's like, I'm not saying you're wrong, okay? I'm saying they feed into that stuff, making it even more so than like another celebrity couple. You know what I mean?
True. And also, I can see for a lot of those people, this right here and her coming out with this can feel like a form of betrayal, because they was like, your whole thing, all you've talked about, all you presented to us is this.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me I have been believing this thing that you have presented to me as facts, and now you're telling me that none of these things were facts.
I'll get into that in a second, but I agree.
So I could see for a lot of people just completely turning on her, because they're gonna feel lied to, they're gonna feel betrayed.
So here's the thing: I don't think you'll see a lot of people turn on her, because they've had to, for the last like since the slap, however many years that's been, they have had to be so firmly in the camp of one of these groups that people are incapable of changing their mind about these people, I think. So if you feel like Will Smith is great and Jada Pinkett is just a woman tearing him down, this will not change anything for you about Will Smith. If you think Jada Pinkett has always been a great, just transparently open, honest Black woman who is getting blamed for the actions of these Black men, you're not going to change your mind. I've seen the mental gymnastics people are doing. They're not going, fuck, this changes everything. They're going, no. Let me tell you why this is okay. See, Will is the real abuser. He's a narcissist. So this is her way of coping with that. And you're like, ooh, that doesn't fit all of her actions don't fit inside that bubble you just created, but it's good. It's close enough. You will believe that. And if you're just say, hey, Chris Rock was telling jokes and this man bullied him, Will Smith is a piece of shit, and Jada Pinkett is a piece of shit, I haven't seen a single mind change by all of this. You know?
Really worried about
And what's Will doing? He's just sitting there?
And Will's still talking. He's like, because now he's mad because Chris is talking to me. And I go, Chris, this is about some old shit. That's all I could think to say, right? And I couldn't really take in his apology.
How unusual for Will, a guy who, I mean, on that kind of stage to do something so insane.
Absolutely.
It's totally out of character.
It's not him whatsoever.
And to Jada's surprise, she was also blamed.
You became the bad guy. Look what Jada made him do. Jada rolled her eyes and look what he did. He ran up there and hit Chris.
Yeah.
Poor Will. That's what the narrative became.
Yeah.
She says that's because 2 years earlier, Jada discussed what she called an entanglement on her show, Red Table Talk.
Going back to look at the entanglement through the lens of knowing they weren't together is even weirder. Like doing the show, Will out there looking like he was crying. It is even weirder. To me, it does feel more like for the people that are like, he's a piece of shit, narcissist abuser, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know why he would participate in that then. Because she was the one looking bad. They're not together. He kind of helped reputationally save her or attempted to save her reputation in that moment when he could have been like, fuck her. She slept with that kid, essentially. But he didn't, so I don't know. It's even weirder on all parts to me now.
Honest opinion about that is that narrative had more to do with the false narrative that I helped to create on the Red Table.
So poor Will because of
the adulterous wife.
Yeah.
Who forced him to go to the table and sit there. You know what I mean? And now look at what she's done. She has the power with an eye roll to make him go up and slap.
And like, I can see how people felt like it looked like that. Now that you look at it and go, y'all weren't together, and this was just to help kind of your reputation because the point of that whole Red Table Talk, that episode, was to be like, and Will's okay with this. They figured it out. They're still going to be together. And if Will's okay with this, everyone else should be okay with this. And we should continue to watch the Red Table Talk. That was the point of that, in my opinion. And now I can see how people go, well, that is what you used them for. You know what I'm saying? Like, before it could be like, well, look, they're husband and wife. If that's how the fuck they get down, blah, blah, blah. But y'all weren't husband and wife. And you're saying it was a false narrative that you spun on the Red Table Talk that you pledged. This was all about honesty and transparency. That is kind of shady.
Have somebody on stage.
So that was from her point of view, and she says that there was bad blood between Chris.
There's another part. I don't know if they got to the part where Hoda asked her. It's just funny to me the way that it came out. But Hoda asked her straight up, like, so people are saying, like, you put basically your stuff on the line, your reputation as like a truth teller. She's like, yeah, I am. It's like, but you weren't really telling the truth. Yep, that's right. And I was like, how is there not like a needle scratch between the two of those moments?
Like, what is happening?
Like, Oh my God. Anyway, the gift that keeps on giving. Honestly, y'all pretend to hate this, but come on, we got more people in our chat than normal. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all came for something.
Come on, guys.
Who are you fooling?
Right.
Even the people like, I'm sick of this shit. Well, you here.
Right. They don't have a prenup, according to her. So they got wedded in 1997. They started living separate lives 7 years ago. So that's like 1997 to 2017. That's a good run. That's a 20-year of at least, who knows how happy it all was, but
right.
You had 20 years of marriage. You seem to love your kids. Your kids are like, to me, I like their kids. They're like,
I do too. I don't have no problem with their kids.
It explains a lot about like, how much the kids are influenced by, the things that come from their parents, but I like their little weird kids being weird. They seem fun.
Yeah, they're just being hippie and just living them millennial lives and just out here doing their own things.
Yeah. And so she says, no matter what, we're going to figure it out. And that's why we don't need a prenup, because I'm making a promise that divorce won't be necessary, that we will figure this out, is what they said ahead of their wedding. But now that today, I wonder what they going to do now, because I feel like when you drop something like this in a book, is this the prelude to the divorce that is coming, and this is getting everybody ready?
Who knows?
Or what, or like or maybe they just gonna feel this way the whole time, and they'll be like, yeah, people know our shit is kind of raggedy, but whatever, we're not getting divorced. And anybody that dates us or anybody we meet, we will never be divorced from each other. So they just need to know that going in.
Yeah, and some people don't like that. They're like, hey, like it is what it is.
And of course, Will hasn't said anything, but I feel like everyone's forgotten Will's press tour like a year or two ago when he put his book out. Jada wasn't responding to those things that came out, that it was kind of like his business.
And he talked about her in the book.
Yeah, he talked about her. He talked about, sleeping with people, all kinds of shit in that book.
Yes, he did.
She also was bringing up Tupac. She says Tupac was her soulmate, something that we've heard before. But once again, since the book rolled out, people acting like it's new. She also said that he suffered from alopecia, which is why he cut his hair off, which she says he never talked about it. I have never heard this before. She says, I don't think Tupac ever talked about the alopecia he suffered from. After he was in Northern California with the police officer that beat him up, he started losing his hair, and his alopecia patterns were far more extreme than mine. So she said, I don't think Pac ever talked about his alopecia, but he also looked really good with a bald head. But that was during the time and during the era that you just wouldn't talk about that. So she's still trying to talk about alopecia. I'm glad that I've had the opportunity and will continue to have the opportunity to talk about how alopecia affects me. And I'm just hoping that it'll give people the freedom to talk about how, and just not have shame around it and not have that much of a stigma. And there's a lot of shame around alopecia. So all right, Karen, that's most of the gender wars on just that front with that trio.
Thanks for keeping everybody up to date, particularly for the people that don't follow it online and stuff.
Yeah, and as far as how I feel about it, I'm not gonna front. You were talking about people feeling like somewhat betrayed. Betrayal is like a strong word, but I don't think I'll ever believe anything coming out of Will and Jada's mouth ever again. Like, because
it's all over the place, right?
Because you didn't just get caught in a private lie, you sold a lie. To me, that is different.
You make,
you know what
money,
I mean? Like
you're
were
benefiting off of it.
It's not just the money though. I'm talking about you made content. It would be like if we came out and was like, we haven't been married the whole time we've been making the Blackout Tips. We just were. That was just something we were doing. But now we have a book coming out called, Living Separately. We
living separately together.
Why the fuck would I buy that book? You just told me I've been lying to you for 7 years, but here's the real truth. I feel like we're 4 years away from another new truth when it's time to sell some new shit. I don't know how the fuck anybody's fighting about these people, because who knows what's true?
Who knows?
Like, even when I see people be like, yeah, it's because Will said this in his book. Was that true? Because he also said they was married and fighting through and being happy and all this shit in the book too. So that's not true. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't delivered separately and we got our own lives and we ain't been together. Shit is they just would rather us think they were cheating or something, or that they had entanglements. Like you sat up there and sold that lie. It's another reason I'm not really buying all this, like they're abusive to each other in that like one of them is the victim and one of them is the victor. If you want to say they both have toxic traits in a toxic relationship, I will believe that. But this whole like one of them is doing this to the other one and the other one has no role in it. They combine to sell the fiction of what they go through. So if Will is a terrible manipulative person that forced this life on Jada, she then sold you this life as a lie for 7 years of being like, listen, it's great over here. I'm doing therapy. I got everything figured out. Y'all need to get like me. I'm going to bring other people on. We're going to be transparent. We're going to be open. We're going to be honest. We're going to talk about the hard topics. And you're like, okay, well, that's a brand.
That is a brand.
You and Will are selling, you're selling the Will and Jada brand. You can't opt out of that and be like, actually, guys, the real brand is we're not together. Like, you're participating in that. People want to turn him into like Ike Turner or some shit, and I'm like, I don't buy that. I think and turning her into like the evil sorceress lady, manipulating his. I don't believe that shit. There's something in Will Smith. There's something in Will Smith that he needs to be seen as a good dude. Whether it's his mother issues, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, he does.
He needs
Agreed.
that. And part of him, Jada, and their family was, this is my good person image. I need y'all to think of me in warm regards. And so for people to be like, yeah, this bitch did this, that she's fucking evil. Well, he's fucking participating in selling y'all the wholesome family vibe of like, nah, it's all good. So like, I don't believe the shit of like, she's evil and makes him do all this shit and he's been suffering. And like Stephen A. Smith was saying, she emasculated him and shit. Like, if she did any of that stuff, a lot of that seemed to be with his permission or his at least allowance of it, in whether it's from him being like, well, shit, I've been cheating and doing my own thing. So I need to like balance the karma in this relationship. Or so I don't know why he did it, but the point is he's been participating in it.
Yeah, and they both been participating in it, so, when you talk about it, everybody want to talk about one, like one has nothing to do with the other, but this is a joint
and
adventure.
That's another reason that the gender war shit is so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Because it closes the whole picture and it makes people concentrate on just what they want to be true.
Right.
So you want to support this woman and therefore everybody else must be a bad guy. You want to support this dude, now everybody else has to be the bad guy. You want to support Chris Rock, all the other people got to be bad guys. Seems like they all kind of had some wild shit. I think obviously Chris is the least of this because he's not married to these motherfuckers. He made like some jokes about Jada. It's, feel how you feel about it, but the other shit is really just people don't like Chris Rock and then they're turning it into Will and Jada like marriage issues, but they clearly had issues before him and after him.
All right.
So, but yeah, it's just, what a great gender war, and I hope more shit drops. I hope every day this week she got a new segment about this shit because it's so good, just the ridiculousness of it all. Being that it's just two people's marriage and not really, none of us was asking for these lies is my point. And I don't mean like now, of course we're asking for the lies now, right? Everybody we want to know their business now, but I'm saying, when they got married, when they were living their life, people weren't like, we need to know the secret to Will and Jada's happiness. We were not.
Mm-mm.
You decided to sell that.
Agreed.
And now it's like, wow, mind your business. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You made it everyone's business.
Yes, you did.
Speaking of making things people's business, all right. There's more gender wars. This is like I said, we had some days off.
Oh, shit now.
A woman ate 48 oysters. I'm going to put this part in quotes. On a date. You'll see why in a second. A woman ate 48 oysters on a date. And what happened next was shocking Was it though?
Was it though? Really though?
Really, was shocking the word that we would use for this.
Yes.
So I'll play the video. Let me put it on the screen for y'all to see. This is a good one. This is some good gender wars. The skits are getting better. We'll rate this skit after it's done. And yes, I'm calling it a skit because I don't believe this is true. All right, let's look at this.
Today I linked with this nigga I met a few weeks ago out with my friends.
This is ATL, Georgia, Fontaine's Oyster Bar, which a lot of people in Georgia, in Atlanta, were mad about this video because they was like, she giving away the motherfucking oyster spot.
The spot, right? We gonna go up there and shit gonna be sold out.
This nigga been texting me for weeks talking to himself. Why I didn't block him, bitch, I don't know. But
so keep in mind for that part of the sketch, and this is another element you need to know. She's not saying any of this live. She's just taking video. She added this voiceover after.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important to know that nobody else was hearing this. Meaning, you could take this same footage and put any narrative to it afterwards, and make up a video if you want to. You know.
Today I was bored and I had time, so he texted me like, "Can we meet for drinks?" And I'm like, "Yeah, meet me here." They got the best fucking oysters in Atlanta, like hands down. So I'm like, yes, I can get some content. Come on.
So she just wants some content. She's ordering the oysters, right? Now, Karen, I'm going to ask you something. I don't know if you've noticed yet. Mm-hmm. Where is the dude? Where's her date?
I don't know.
Okay, I just wanted to see if maybe I missed
his voice.
Yeah,
bitch, I don't know.
Because like the audio's added later.
I was bored and I had time.
The voiceover's added later, but yeah, the ambient audio is there. But you don't see like a dude walking in front of her. You don't see like
a hand. You don't hear a voice.
Me like, "Can we meet for drinks?"
You don't see a dude like at the table with her.
Yeah, meet me here. They got the best fucking oysters in Atlanta. Like
now, they do have 2 place settings, so that the person puts down 2 menus.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't see the other person.
So I'm like, yes, I can get some content. Come on.
It's so good.
And of course, if you pay attention to what she's talking about, I mean, obviously, it's if you were her date, she's literally saying, "I don't like this dude. I'm only going on this date to create content for my TikTok." Mm-hmm. And I didn't even respond to him in the thing. If you believe her story, that's what she's telling us. Now the sound you're hearing is her sucking the soul out of these oysters.
Yes, she did.
And she's already done a dozen.
You put hot sauce on them and shit.
She's working on a second dozen. Once again, if you notice, it's cropped in very close, but I don't see evidence that like he had an oyster, that there's even a he on the other side of the table. I just see 3 at this point, 3 trays of oysters.
Tearing them things the hell up. They must be delicious.
It's a great commercial for Fontaine's oysters.
I'm trying to tell their business about to be off the chain.
Okay, sucking those oysters.
Fucking sell out of them bitches.
Sucking those oysters like Janet Jackson.
Y'all, when the 4th one came out, he was looking at me.
Now that's the 4th tray. And she's saying he was looking at me, but she don't show him.
Crazy. I didn't give a... Y'all, when the 4th one came out, he was looking at me crazy. I didn't give a fuck.
Like, where is he? You saying he was still there by the time the 4th one came out? Where is he at?
She was like, he didn't consent to the video, so I'm not gonna put him on it.
I'm like, baby, you
this was edited,
me out.
so who knows? He may have been in there. She might have just edited.
So you think
out.
he was in there?
Like that's a possibility.
Okay, I'm just going. Okay, I have a different theory brewing, but okay, Karen's believing. She thinks this is real.
And I was coming anyway, but I ain't gonna lie. No, I wouldn't have did all that, but I did do all that. That was so good. I was not expecting it to be that good.
Now, in the audio that's ambient, you hear her say, oh my God, Just saying, if this was real and I was this dude, on a date with this woman who is on her phone doing videos the whole time of her eating 48 oysters and talking to herself,
I would think something was wrong with her.
This would be like red flag time. I gotta get the fuck out of here. If this
Right.
was true, I don't believe it's true though. But if this was true, you have to I want people to like how Karen you brought up in your banter. You saw a person in real life have like an Instagram birthday moment, and it was jarring to you a bit. You were like, "What is this?" Imagine you were on a date with that person, and they did the same thing.
It would be probably
like they didn't say, "Hey, I'm here with my boyfriend," or "I'm on a date." They just went, "Hey, I turn up. It's my birthday. It's a real bitch birthday." And you were sitting across from them. It's a bit like, what the fuck just happened?
Correct. What is happening? What is going on? And nobody
It was
was
just
asking
so
no
good.
questions. Nobody been like, the fuck is this? And it like her light on too. So not only you slurping and eat, it's a bright as light at our table. The fuck is
And
happening here?
supposedly a dude there. Supposedly.
Right.
Like I had to. It was so good. So after that, I'm like, baby, what's next? What I'm about to eat? These potatoes, they were so good. In the crab
Now,
cakes.
them crab cakes look flames. Them potatoes look flames too.
Everything was so good. 10, baby. Why the fuck this bitch ass nigga say he going to the bathroom and never come back?
And I think that's the big twist on the skit is, oh, he left, like, oh, ha, 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 look at this, y'all, and I think that's good because this content these days, you need a twist.
Yeah,
you need a twist ending.
You have to have a twist nowadays.
It's like telling a good joke. The best content to me has like a little bit of a surprise ending with it, where it's like, and then boom, this thing happened. So, of course, it's a little bit weird. Let's think about what we're looking at here. Let's think about what we're looking at. There's a pin there. The receipt is there, like the bill. They normally don't bring you that until you've paid. Like, you normally don't get this until you give them your card. Then they come back with this. And I say this as a person that pays for all the meals around here. So, Karen, I see you looking confused. Like you never heard this before. But they normally don't bring you that pin back in that little tray thing until you gave them your card. Because what if you were paying in cash?
Yeah, until it's time to sign. So
I'm not saying it's circumstantial evidence. I'm not saying it's like guilty, but it leaves me. It's like it's a little odd. Maybe they do different at this restaurant.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's one of those things where you normally don't see a quote unquote pin until you've actually swiped the card. They come back and they go, here's your double receipt, one for us, one for you.
Right.
The fuck.
Also, his side of the table extremely neat. As if there has been zero food eaten on that side of the table.
no folded napkin. No crumb.
Not a plate, not a crumb, not just extremely clean restaurant.
Nothing disorganized. And we was talking about this on 3 guys.
Low key, that menu is in the top left corner. It's in the same place it was when this whole thing started. I'll rewind, but if you go back to when the dude dropped the menus, he put it here. You can watch it again.
They got the best fucking oysters in Atlanta, like hands down.
That menu's still over there.
Content. Come on, it's so good.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Eggs. What I'm about to eat?
It was just like, I'm not eating shit. Basically,
supposedly, but
that's
if you believe that's what happened.
It's one of those things where it's a lot going on here. This whole thing feels staged. Like I said, that's if this person is real and if they were there. This is the big if.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where
there is, to her defense, there is a glass of wine on that side of the table that doesn't look like it's been drank, but there is a glass of wine over there. So maybe there was a person there. They never even finished their wine. I don't know, but
they sat down and they was like, damn, this bitch greedy, and just was like, I got to go to the bathroom.
Right. So maybe maybe that's what happened over there. I don't know. I'm looking for some evidence to want to believe her, but I'm not.
And put like that, and as a greedy bitch myself, just be like me, just go out and buy your own meal.
But you're not making TikToks, so
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
true. I'm not
talking
making
about
TikToks.
you just
I'm
talking about the
sorry.
oysters. You just want to eat
Yes.
oysters. You not
Right. If I want to eat oysters, I'd be like, well, I'm going to eat oysters.
Yeah, that's not the goal of these things.
Oh, my
Niggas
bad.
say he going to the bathroom and never come back. The fuck? I'm like, hold the fuck on. It's been like 10, 20, 30 minutes, bitch. What the fuck this nigga at? Had to end up grabbing a tab, bitch. Nigga left me with his little one fucking drink. Yeah, bitch. I'm so glad bitch keep me some money, cause what? That was crazy to me. And I said, bitch, you run out on the tab. He's like,
now she could have texted this to herself. Running out of tab is crazy. I offered to take you out for drinks and you order all that food. I could cash out the total for the drinks.
I'm offering you to drink. The fuck are you talking about?
So look, it could be true. I'm not saying 100% is fake. I just treat all these things as fake until proven otherwise. Because it's such great content. It's too perfect.
It's great content, yeah.
And of course,
keep
people been
talking.
fighting. People been fighting.
At the end of the day, that's all they want is people to fight.
If a guy goes offers to take somebody out for drinks and they order, and you could look at the total of the bill, but it was I forget what the total was, but it was a grip. Like it wasn't like
that was crazy to me.
Well, because she ended up leaving like a tip at the end, and I'm trying to see the exact thing, but yeah, so she ended up leaving like a tip at the end in cash and some on the check, but the point being it was over $200. So, I can see how if it was real, somebody's like, let's go out for drinks, and they're like, drinks is not a $200 thing for me. Also, you're actively not interested in me. You're actively filming all your fucking food.
Yeah, she even said the whole purpose was that she didn't want it right. So I'm like you. I don't film TikTok for a living, but nigga, if I don't want you, shit, I go by myself. The fuck is you doing here?
Yeah, so and then we did the math on 3 Guys On yesterday, but even her tip wasn't 20%. So it was like, a little bit like, damn. But so 184.87 was the total. That was the total. So you're supposed to leave about $40 tip on that. That's for 20%, by the way. That's a little over 20%. But so that was some good gender wars. Though, what would you give it from 0 to 10? What would you rate the gender wars content on that one?
Oh, we rating them now?
Yeah, we rating them now. That's a new thing.
Okay, I'm about to say.
I know I threw you for a loop, and it's probably impossible to put a number to this, but
ain't it though? Like, cause I try to funny. I'm not that fucked with.
Well, I didn't talk about how much you feel fucked with. I'm asking you to rate it 0 to 10 on how good the gender war content was.
Oh, for the way people responding to 10. If you talking about the way everybody responding, because you have niggas talk about how dare she, greedy ass bitch, eating all that food out of the left too, and then you got the women go, these niggas ain't shit. You said you gonna be a dinner. How of a sudden you don't want to pay for my meal? So if that's the case, I give it 100. Then
I agree.
Not for me. But for the people responding.
It's 0 to 10, but yeah, okay. No,
I mean, the 10, I'm bad.
Okay, it's all good. I think this is a high. I give this like a 8 because I'm dubious of the fact that I feel like to take this to a 10, what you really need is another TikTok influencer as the dude on a date with you, and then he is the one who like is giving you some acting, like he's giving you some evidence, because right now I don't believe most of this happened or it didn't happen this way. I don't even know if a nigga was there. I need to know that a nigga was there to give me the full like I need like a couple still shots or not still shots, but a couple like Curb Your Enthusiasm shots of his face as you eating them oysters. Like, is this bitch? Is this a walrus?
His voice. Something.
Yeah, I need something that lets me know how fucked up it is.
A coat on the chair.
Right. And because also you can get, because everybody's picking sides, you can get a lot of content out of that. Because you're going to have, to me, the more reasonable, rational people that are like, I can see why he's looking like that. But once you start fighting between the men and the women, it's going to be a lot of women like, and that's how they do, ain't it? They be looking at you when you order 48 oysters, like something wrong with you. Just like you a sea otter in mating season, eating your body weight in oysters. so you can swim back to the mating lands and battle for a good mate. You need this protein.
Apparently so. Somebody does.
Like, it could have been better is what I'm saying. I think you just, get a friend that's willing to play the part, promise them like 3 oysters or whatever the fuck, and then get a video of them leaving, walking away from the table. I'll be right back. That would be so funny. You only got to have a dude in there for making a face about you eating them oysters, and then I'll be right back. Get up from the table, and then you go, this nigga didn't even pay for the den. It's like, oh, just a 10 out of 10 now.
Yeah, if you want to cut it and edit it, yes.
She cut it in. Yeah, she did a lot of work. I just feel like could have been perfect instead of high marks. Definitely made everybody mad. I also realized something talking about this on 3 Guys On. I know why this content works now. And I know why it specifically works on Black people. Because I noticed that these things don't normally make it to the white part of social media. They don't fight about this stuff. Their podcasts don't talk about it. And I've been flummoxed. I've been flabbergasted as to why that happens, because I was like, damn, are Black people the only people doing the gender wars? But that can't be true.
No, it's not.
Every version of men hates women. And every race got some version of like, we hate women and women hate women and everybody hates women, right?
Correct.
I figured it out. It's not just the people I follow on social media.
Okay.
Black people got something in our DNA, a gene, something that activates, that says, couldn't be me. And when
and it varies per person, and it triggers differently per person.
And you can't stop yourself. Like, I know this video is fake, and when I watch it, I catch myself at various points being, that couldn't be me. I can't help it. I know I'm watching a movie. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm watching is not real human. Like, this happened exactly how it looks. I know I'm watching something edited. I know she posted a TikTok. You would normally think, well, somebody that it could kind of make them look a little bit bad wouldn't post as a TikTok, but it's the attention economy. She posted a TikTok. It's content. Whether people calling you fat, ugly, nasty, greedy,
it's content.
Whatever. And she's none of those. She's beautiful. This woman
she's
is fine.
gorgeous.
I've seen the video. I felt like I knew what she looked like before I even seen the video. I said, yeah, she looked like she can act like that. Her life is not gonna be too inconvenienced. And listen, I guarantee there's a bunch of niggas in the DMs like, girl, 60 oysters. I don't give a fuck. Okay.
However many you want.
Just 48. Okay. You
can have whatever you like.
Right. So, but yeah, so I look at that. I can't help but see how the content is created. But even when I'm watching it, every once in a while, I'm just like, ain't no fucking way. You're not going to just da-da-da. And then I'll be like, damn, Rod, you falling for it.
They got you too.
They got me. I know it's fake. I'm the person in the Matrix that want to believe in the Matrix. They like, we in the Matrix. And I'm like, yeah, but the steak tastes like steak in the Matrix.
The steak tastes like steak.
It's better than that gruel they serving out there in the real life. I'm going to live in this fake world. So yeah, that was some amazing gender wars content, but I just think she should have took it one step further. Now, let's see how long we've been going. Ooh, hour 17. I'll save the next gender wars for another episode.
Okay.
I still have more content. We can't get to all of it.
Ain't no way. Too much.
It's too much. And I wanted to bring y'all here to laugh. Okay, that's what we're about. So let's get into a little bit of get into some guest the race. I think guest the race is a good place to go next. All right. Pull up my guest the race music. This time for guess the race. 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 All right. For some reason, my guest the race articles don't want to load. Which is interesting because the other tags were working. Gender wars is just working.
Is doing you like they did with the Spotify comments. Like, I don't feel like showing them.
Yeah. All right. Let me check the see if I can get it going on my phone.
I guess it said get back to them gender wars.
Right. That's so weird. That's so weird.
We got plenty of them for you.
All right, let's see. Guess the race. All right, guess what? I have to do it on my phone. This is frustrating. All right.
Someone like the refreshing nothing's like, nah, I'm not showing you shit.
Nah, it's like Pocket went down just on this
Just on the
web
version.
on the web version. All right, I guess I have to do it from my phone. Sorry, everybody.
No problem.
Let's see. A woman allegedly pulls gun on sister after she refuses to babysit.
You gonna watch these kids, girl. That turned into, I got shit to do. I got some dick or dancing, clubbing, whatever I want to do. I'm tired of these motherfucking kids and the goddamn break. They call me mama all day long. Fuck them kids. That's how that conversation went. Fuck you too, apparently.
Also, like, after you pull a gun on me, you gonna trust me around your kids?
Right.
But yeah, she pulled a gun out on her sister and chased her around with a sledgehammer after she refused to babysit her daughter. This happened on September 27th around 8 a.m. Officers say that suspect Zaria Thomas came into the house yelling at her sister. The sister said she did not want to babysit Thomas's daughter, which escalated the argument. Their mother said that Thomas pulled out a black gun on her sister and that the brother had to wrestle the gun away from her. Thomas then stabbed her sister's work laptop with a kitchen knife.
Ah, damn. How you gonna explain that to the job? You gonna bring that shit to IT. IT gonna be like, can you explain what happened? Well, my sister got mad and she stabbed it.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take the cost of this computer slowly out of your paycheck.
Like, maybe she was using that to remote work.
Yes. Now she gotta fucking come into the office because you fucking stabbed the computer to death.
They on Zoom like, girl, is that a knife in your by your camera?
Girl, what's happening, girl? How come we can halfway see you through the screen on Zoom?
Police say Thomas also chased her sister out the house with a sledgehammer, and the brother had to intervene again to take it away from her.
Damn, the brother's like, y'all causing me to have to work today. I didn't plan on doing all this bullshit.
Yeah, that's some itchy and scratchy shit.
Right?
Karen, that's the whole article. Guess the race of Zaria Thomas. I think this happened in Tennessee.
Black.
All right, Karen's going with black. Check the chat room. Nigga, says Lakita. Lakita. All right, I hear you. Wait for some more people to get in. Nigga shit. Okay, wow. Daughter probably had bad like her mama. Black. Nigga shit. Black. Okay, a lot of black going on in this one. The correct answer. Hold on. Let me I'll see a few more coming in. I'm sorry. It takes a village, but it's violent. Black. Prayer instead of therapy. Black. Precious mama. Black. Hard hitting. Black.
Oh no.
All right. Well, everyone said black. Everyone's right. Zaria Thomas.
Child, she was like, bitch, what you mean you ain't gonna take? And it would not be surprising if that's the brother job, probably been separating them two probably all his life. You know what I'm saying? They probably this sound like something where they go back and forth all of the time. And it probably something where she asked her to watch the baby before and she was like, no. She's like, okay now. She asked her again. She was like, bitch, you ain't never gonna keep my kids. She was like, no, I told you I wasn't gonna never keep your kids.
I love that you come up with this whole theater. I think you miss your calling. You need to go on TikTok and make some gender wars content, okay?
I probably do.
Turn the sister into a baby daddy and then pull a gun on them and then chase them with a sledgehammer. I think we got us. I think we got a hit. Then we be cooking with grease. POV, your baby daddy don't want to babysit his own kid.
Yes, POV.
Because you got to go too far. Because if you just stop there, everybody be on your side. But once you pull the gun and chase him around with a sledgehammer and stab the work laptop, now it's like, well, he made her do those things. She had to do that.
She didn't have a choice.
Because he is just like the boyfriend who ghosted me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this wasn't always about me? Okay. A Wisconsin woman allegedly threatened to shoot up McDonald's because her French fries were burned.
Oh, shit. Is this whatchamacallit from Keith and the Girl?
First of all, it's minimum rage, and I made that up. I just normally do it on Last Week on Keith and the Girl.
Minimum rage. I can't. Yeah. The name wasn't coming to me.
I know. A woman was arrested a month after she allegedly made threatening comments to McDonald's employees because some of her French fries were burned. Brenita Gottschalk went to the fast food chain in Brookfield, purchased a sandwich, soda, and fries, then ate her meal. When she finished, she allegedly approached the counter and started criticizing the fact that they were burnt ends on her leftover fries. Oh, there was a burnt end on some of her leftover fries. She allegedly attempted to make her way into the McDonald's kitchen to get a new order.
What?
Court documents cited by the county freeman, Waukesha County Freeman, I guess is a newspaper, alleged an employee tried to stop Gottschalk from entering the kitchen because she was not allowed in there.
Right, you're not an employee, so I'm happy to you. Now we got a fucking lawsuit. Get out of the kitchen.
Gottschalk allegedly argued with the employee and claimed the McDonald's worker was a drug dealer.
I know, because he sold me the drugs.
She reportedly continued to make her way back and insisted all the employees were selling drugs and would get arrested. Who knows if she was right or not, but that ain't got nothing to do with burnt fries.
That ain't got nothing to do with burnt fries. They all might be selling that stuff, but you know what? As of right now, us selling drugs ain't got nothing to do with these burnt fries, ma'am.
The criminal complaint reportedly said she claimed she had a weapon. She was going to shoot up the restaurant. She was exiting when the McDonald's when the police arrived. They did not find any weapons on her. She's being charged with disorderly conduct. Guess the race.
What was the name again?
Her name is Brenita Gottschalk.
I'm going black.
Karen's going black. All right, let's check the chat room. Samantha says black like those fries she got.
Oh no! Oh no, baby!
Let's see who else we got here. The fries were burnt, but her Sprite was perfectly fine. What else?
Oh, that Sprite was on point.
Yeah, I don't know if that's black, but I'm counting that as black.
Yeah, you know we like the Sprite.
They let her leave white. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I do it my damn self. Strong black woman, says Kaz always. My great grand uncle is 345th Choctaw White. Complaining after you already ate is nigga shit. White women with the I date black man haircut. Okay, white woman with the okay. Black like her burnt ends. The correct answer is black. Some of you did miss it.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest though, like, I mean, she's wrong, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I would have just gave her the fries. Like,
yes, it's not worth the hassle.
Just take the fries. Like,
here, I'll pay for the fries. Fuck it. Take the fries. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, like maybe she was so aggressive that before they could even be like, here's some more fries, she just like, I'll make it myself.
That's possible.
Y'all know how to do it. Like,
I mean, it's McDonald's.
Right.
Nobody gives a fuck.
All right, let's go to the bonus round. You're 2 for 2.
Why? I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get
gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big dive, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
All right. Last one. A funeral home worker responsible for transporting dead bodies in Nebraska County is suspected of having an intimate encounter with a life-size sex doll that he found in the apartment of a deceased person.
What?
Investigators say Ryan Smith, 41, and a colleague were dispatched last week to the home in Omaha to collect the body of an individual who died there. A sex doll was inside the residence. This is terrible news if you're the dead person, because like you probably want to take that to the grave.
Mm-hmm.
And this person was like, not until I fuck it. Police alleged that Smith subsequently called the property manager and claimed that the local sheriff had asked him to collect the sex doll for evidentiary purposes.
Ain't he the funeral home person?
That's what they said. A funeral
The
home
fuck
worker.
why do you need the sex doll? You're not doing no investigation. What is you gonna do? Put the sex doll in the casket with them?
How did that call go?
They both going under? What is this? Hello, funeral home service.
No, it's the you the apartment person. You the
Oh.
apartment manager. All right, go ahead, do it. Ring ring.
Hello, apartment manager.
Hey, this is the Ryan Smith. I was there earlier.
I remember you, sir. Yes.
Yeah, y'all had a resident die, and I came to to collect the body. The sheriff has a special investigation going on right now.
Oh, okay.
They need me to collect some evidence.
Do you have any documentation of paperwork from the sheriff's department?
No, it's just this is a real hush top secret type type of investigation. The evidence I need to collect that sex doll.
I mean,
in the
sir,
house
you
for evidentiary. We
can't allow you to take anything off of the property without the consent of the police.
We think it might be some foul play involved, and we want to keep this hush hush. So if you could just keep this between me and you, and I'll let the sheriff know everything.
Sir, I'm not going to be allowed to do that. I mean, I get the property manager involved.
Well, see, but you might be letting the murderer know. So we need you to keep it quiet because we think it was some foul play and some anal play. Maybe a little bit of role play involved.
Sir, I don't think we're going to be allowed to do that. All we need for you to do is to move the body out.
Well, I already got it with me. I already got the evidence. I took it to my house already. So I was just letting you know as a courtesy, but keep your mouth shut.
Sir, I'm just letting you know we're going to have to report this to be sure that you had the authority to take this off our premises. I thank you, and hopefully you have a good day.
So then, actually, no, it would be more like.
There you go, old school.
But
kids don't know about no downtones. We don't do downtones no more.
So he called the property manager, said he needed to collect it. His request was denied by the manager.
Yeah, goddamn right. You can't do that.
Who later returned to the apartment and heard noises emanating from the unit, which had been locked from the inside with a deadbolt and a chain.
Oh, so the property manager probably went back and was like, you know what? Let me go see if he really took this doll or some shit. Like, is anything else missing in this apartment? And was like, the fuck is happening in here?
He wasn't just fucking the sex doll. He was loud fucking the sex doll.
Because they didn't think nobody was going to come back.
I mean, obviously, but just, it wasn't even like respectful sex doll sex. It was very like, maybe it was one of those like real dolls or one of those like fucking like Kim Kardashian AI dolls or something. Like how, what kind of Rick and Morty sex doll would have to exist for you to just lose all your self-control? He didn't try to buy one himself. He wanted to fuck a used sex doll.
I mean, at least ask for the make and a model and go get your own.
And if it's somebody else's sex doll, they probably weren't cleaning it as clean as it need to be clean for you.
Guarantee you they were not.
For the next person, okay, you don't share those. What are you doing?
You do not share those.
This is so gross. After Smith exited the home with his clothes disheveled, oh Lord, because now the property manager obviously goes outside and waits. Like, I know this motherfucker didn't fuck that sex doll after I told him. He said he needed for evidence.
Yeah,
for a case.
I was coming to be sure the sex doll was still here, and apparently it is, but other things too.
Well, the property manager called the cops. They later busted him on a felony burglary charge. Deputies plan to seek DNA samples from the sex doll. God damn, this nigga is going to jail.
Of course,
they're gonna give him sexual assault charges on the sex doll.
Of course, because it's a sex doll. What else do you think? I mean, come on now.
He was fired from his job with Mid-America First Call, which, according to the website, specials in removals, transportations, embalming, cremations, and ship outs. And apparently leaving a couple of samples on. All right, Karen. Guess the race of Ryan Smith.
Ryan Smith was white.
Karen says white for Ryan Smith, the sex doll burglar. It's funny, they're saying he burgled the home for the sex doll, but it seemed like he didn't take nothing. It seemed like he left some evidence. He didn't take nothing with him.
He had his eye on that doll, boy.
Right. And the fact that he couldn't take it with him is the only reason he left it there. He would have taken it back to the crib and been like, "This my used sex doll. Got this thing free."
Oh, so you know what? When he called, he was there on site.
Probably
had his eye on that dog. Was like, well, shit. Since I can't take it back, I'll fuck you real quick and just go about my business.
Right. It's sad because could have took it out to eat 48 oysters or something.
Could have took it to the Cheesecake Factory. Wouldn't have complained.
That's for tomorrow. What in the HBO real sex is going on here? White, do a pre-used sex doll count as a threesome either way? White. Right. Is that a rebound? You know, Morty should not be left alone. White.
Of course.
Gotta be white. Christopher Columbus, the fuck out of that doll. Humans, pork, it's all good to me. Jeffrey Dahmer, white. What did I miss? That's not a race. The doll is ebony. The dude was white. DNA evidence, white. Columbus, the doll's dignity, white. Caucasian corpse copulator, white. And the doll was asking for it, says Romy. Okay, Romy. All right. The correct answer is...
What did the doll have on?
Everybody said white, and you got it right. Man.
Oh no! And that pickup in the corner, don't help. This
right.
Don't help.
Also, like this picture in the corner, you know the doll didn't look like this.
You know it didn't.
So like, I don't even know why they put this picture up there. They tried to put a sex doll where you'll be like, well, shit, nigga, I'll lose my job too. Risk it all for that anime pussy. Okay, I got to do what I got to do. When the other worker was there, was he just like looking at the dog the whole time? Like, shoot, we should probably take this too. Also makes me wonder if the person died fucking the dog.
Possibility.
You know, that's like my nightmares. That's why I would never get a sex robot. You have a heart attack, dying on top of a sex robot, man. Somebody got to find you.
Somebody
you the man that died in the most comical way of all time.
Somebody got to find you.
Half the articles we cover is just like, ain't it crazy how this person died? Imagine some podcast covering my death. Like, nigga was fucking one of them sex dolls, man. The auto blow AI. He couldn't stop himself. Couldn't stop himself.
Took him out. It was too much for him.
He had to put it on
the suction was apparently too hard. Sucked his soul away.
He had to put it on 200%.
That's what happened.
His saying shined him. Okay. Took his whole soul out of his body.
Yes, it did.
He didn't read the warning label.
He did not follow the instructions.
No, thank you. All right. Sword ratchet this time. A sword-wielding man hospitalized after threatening Warren police. Authorities say man has a history of mental health issues. A 29-year-old Warren man is receiving a mental health evaluation after entering Warren police headquarters Thursday morning carrying a large sword and allegedly making verbal threats to the front desk officer on duty.
Oh no.
He can be seen positioning the sword against a wall before approaching the front desk and speaking with the officer on duty. According to Warren police, the man made several statements that included threats to officers and himself. The front desk officer recognized the man was likely experiencing mental health crisis and summoned officers for assistance. The man grabbed the sword and fled the lobby, then ran to his vehicle, which was parked on the street outside the police station, and fled the area. Officers were able to locate the male a short while later at Dodge Park in Sterling Heights, took him into custody without incident. He was later taken to a local hospital where he is to have a mental health evaluation. So yeah, this is one of the rare sword ratchetness that ends up with nobody getting hurt. Thank goodness.
Right.
You have to wonder where he got a sword from.
Yes.
You know, that seems kind of like not a good thing. He probably shouldn't have had access to. But that's just me. You know, I don't want to assume. I know a lot of y'all, you know, maybe y'all believe in that. He shouldn't. But yeah, I just think that's sad, you know, but glad that he didn't get killed or kill somebody, because it could have ended up way worse. As we've covered on the show many a fucking time.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think that's about it for today's show. I wanted to include something. I'm gonna see if I can find it on my Twitter page. Give me 1 second to search for it. But
You go ahead.
it's so you know that there's a war going on right now in Palestine, or Israel is like bombing the shit out of the Gaza Strip and Palestine right now, and people are worried that if it's not already being called that it's going to be a genocide of these people, and that we know that Israel was attacked by Hamas, which is to some extent like what people would consider the government of Palestine, but also like the people in Palestine live under the thumb of Hamas, so they're oppressed by them too. It's very complicated and stuff, and it's also something that I'm just regurgitating stuff I've already heard other people say, and I can't say anything what 100% certain is not my lived experience, and I understand there's nuance to all this, and it's very difficult for people to talk about it, which is why I saw a video of somebody on MSNBC talking about it, and I thought what they said was a more concise and appropriate thing to say. And it's kind of a scary time, because even when people say things that I think are kind of nuanced and reasonable, I'm seeing them get like yanked off the air. People are saying that this guy was taken off the air, and other Muslim like hosts of MSNBC are being sidelined. Once again, I can't confirm that. This is one of the things with Twitter and the blue checks, and I think Elon Musk wanted it this way.
Yes, he did.
I don't know what is true and what's not, and I feel like every time I see something that's emotionally compelling and I want to share it, immediately someone else puts something out like, "Why you shouldn't have shared that because that's not real," And so I don't know 100%, but because this was on MSNBC's airways, it's 3.5 minutes. I'm going to play it uninterrupted. I just want to put this out there to spread awareness in a way that's better than the words I have for it.
One thing clear, Israel has a right to exist and to defend itself. That is an indisputable fact. But so do Palestinians, and that's a fact that's often ignored. Palestinians are, at best, third-class citizens in the nation of their birth. The idea that it's even remotely controversial to call what Israel has imposed on Palestinians a form of apartheid is laughable. One look at a current map of Israel, Gaza, and the occupied territories conjures up only one other example: apartheid-era South Africa. The Israeli government, on an ongoing basis, declares parcels of land on which Palestinians live to be either of military or archaeological importance, causing residents to be evicted. Sometimes there's a court case, and almost always the Palestinians lose. Yet months or weeks later, that same important land suddenly becomes home to a brand new Israeli settlement. As more and more Jewish settlers take over land on which Arabs live, the occupied West Bank becomes de facto more Israeli, and in the explicit hopes of the Israeli government, more Jewish. This is a long-standing attempt, and a deliberate attempt, to force Arabs who have lived in that land, sometimes for hundreds of years, out. It's an attempt to dilute their presence, because to have Arabs as full participants is, in the opinion of the Israeli government and their courts, diluting Israel. Just prior to the pandemic, I toured many of the contested areas and homes from which Arabs are being pushed out, both in Israel proper and in the occupied territories. Palestinians don't control the important parts of their lives. Palestinian families are refused permits to build or renovate their homes. When they connect their homes to the municipal water supply, Israeli soldiers sometimes cut the pipes. When they attempt to harness solar energy because their homes are not on the grid, Israeli soldiers literally come and remove solar panels from their homes. I spent an hour and a half traveling alongside an elderly Palestinian woman who was being transferred between 3 ambulances from Gaza to the no man's land in between, and then into Israel to get cancer treatment. 3 ambulances over the course of 1 mile, more than an hour to cross the border. That's how Gazans live. Without medical treatment because Israel prevents it. Without electricity much of the time because Israel prevents it. Without the ability to fish in the Mediterranean Ocean because Israel prevents it. Without an airport or a seaport because Israel prevents it. Like Israelis, Palestinians also have a right to exist and to defend themselves. But there is no one willing to help them do that. Not the Israeli courts and not the U.S. government. What the U.S. also shares with Israel is the belief that Hamas, the political party that governs Gaza, is a terrorist organization that calls for the destruction of Israel. Hamas is supported by the majority of Palestinians in Gaza. Hamas may not be in the best long-term interests of the Gazans, but peace hasn't really worked out for them. Faced with an Israeli government which pens them into what has been called the world's largest open-air prison, they have chosen a government that most of us wouldn't prefer, one that is not given to negotiation and moderation and respect for its neighbor. Israel needs a new approach to the Palestinians, and America needs a new approach to Israel. After more than 7 decades of not just being deprived of land from which they were evicted, Palestinian frustration runs deep. It may be worth going deeper than what you may hear inside your bubble and understanding the depth to which the Palestinian people are subject to apartheid in their own land, deprived of basic necessities, and subject to relentless civil rights violations. This is not a secret. It's out there for you to see. You just have to look for it.
I think that's more knowledgeable and better than anything I'm going to be able to say on it. And I think a lot of people think that a lot of it's scary because one, you don't want to get some shit wrong. There's a shit ton of misinformation out there that is not being vetted.
Right.
And it also feels like a little bit after 9/11 where it was get down or lay down. Like it will, when George W. Bush was like, we will attack countries that we consider to even harbor terrorists. Like, harboring a terrorist is not like, it's just people might live here that we not saying come here and live, but you just bombing our shit now. Like,
right.
And a lot of the declaration and pledges have felt that way, and a lot of nuances lost. And I think
a lot of
what can't be understated is the fact that this is what the tactics that we would call terrorism is supposed to do. It evokes an emotional response that makes you feel like I'm under constant attack, and I need to exert as much power to control this thing. And I think that's what happened after 9/11, and we ended up getting into wars and shit that we just got out of under Joe Biden, and there's still repercussions that will happen eventually from that because we killed real people, and their people, family members and shit are still alive. Who knows what the fuck those people are going to do one day.
Right.
Because they feel justified. And then the other side of this is on social media, depending on your bubble, it can be like okay to say anything. And I think some of the things I've seen said that I think people may feel are supporting Palestine, I think have been kind of like over the top wild. Like Black Lives Matter Chicago had to delete a post where
that was crazy.
They put a picture of somebody paragliding silhouette and was like, we stand with Palestine, and they took it down later. But like, I don't know, like if you're aware of what happened,
because like I said, I didn't see the video, so that's why I was asking.
They were posting this shit as people were getting killed by people that paraglided into a festival and were like killing people in their homes and shit. Like, and then today they deleted that, took it down. But then the day I saw they posted like, we're gonna have a rally for Palestine, and ladies that are into men, hey, we don't blame you, but if you come out and you want to like date some of these cuties, that they got some fine Palestinian men at the rally. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, we can't just let this be content creation. If it matters and it's as important as you say it is,
right?
It can't just be about how can I get clicks or isn't this a funny joke. People are dying. It don't seem like a joke. And if you think that people are about to literally have genocide committed upon them, kiki don't seem like the right thing to me, And I know we're a comedy show and we talk social political things, and maybe this is too deep or too whatever for everybody, but and I don't, like I said, I don't feel authoritative and like these are the right people and everybody should shut the fuck up. But I do feel like there's a lot of people that have better insight on these things that are talking about it, and I would encourage y'all to like listen to and follow them. I know for me, I look at Lexi Alexander's feed. I know a lot of y'all know her as like the director of like The Punisher and stuff. Like, I love that movie and stuff, but she's Palestinian and she's been talking about this for years, spreading awareness on it. And like, I'll go look at her feed because I know she'll have like a more she'll have a more like informed point of view from it that I'm not seeing from the mainstream, which is about the way Palestinians have been oppressed and living this whole time. And, you know, the distinction between Hamas and Palestinians is something that's important, but it's kind of messy. It's not
it's really
it's not
messy.
a through line of just a pure, like, you know, these are the bad guys, these are the good guys. And I don't know. I don't feel like the answer is going to ever be kill all these people. And then it feels like that's where this thing is heading towards, just kill all the people that live here.
Right. The people that are like, we are innocent. We don't have anything to do with this shit.
And it sounds extremely, at least that's how it sounds to me. I don't know how it sounds to y'all, but like when you hear Israel saying you got 24 hours to get 2 million people out of this small space, but also there's nowhere for y'all to go because no country's going to take you in. What does that look like?
Right.
You know, when you got people saying like, you know, bomb it, turn it into glass, destroy everybody, kill all of them. I don't know, man. I just know that right there is typically not something that's ever going to work out well.
For nobody.
You know, it's weird to be living during a time where you're seeing shit like this and living through it. This feels like the kind of things you see in history books and go, what? How did they let that happen? And feels like people letting that happen.
Agreed.
So, all right, that's it. Hate to end on a down note, but I didn't want to like not say anything, and I still would direct you to better, more informed voices than me.
Right.
And, you know, and also keep in mind, like, take it all with a grain of salt, because now that you can't verify fucking anything, and I feel like that's purposeful, and misinformation is at an all-time high, there's shit. I mean, Joe Biden was talking about he saw pictures of children being decapitated and shit, and then the White House had to put something out like, we don't know that he really saw that because that information is not verified. So maybe he saw something, but we can't even verify that happened. So like, that's the president. And I know a lot of people, it'll be like, yeah, because fuck Joe Biden, but I'm like, think a little bit fucking deeper. If they can fool the goddamn president, they can fool any of us.
Right.
You know, like, be careful with these sources that you're out there seeing, because a blue check don't mean what a blue check used to mean, dog.
Not what it used to mean. It used to mean something, but once people go, I can just pay for shit, and like you say, once you get a bunch of misinformation and wrong information, it is actually designed to purposely confuse, and nobody is above it. Everybody think that they're extra special. Everybody think that I can tell. No,
There's a ton of shit.
Anymore.
There's a ton of shit I've seen that I've wanted to or thought about like retweeting or something. I've had so many things I just have unretweeted or whatever within seconds, because I have to remind myself I actually don't know. And then I see people bring up stuff on the other side of that and be like, no, that's not true because this doesn't make sense or whatever. And I'm like, I don't fucking know anything right now. And I feel like that's on purpose. And I feel like it's only going to get worse. You know, next election is going to be like this, all this stuff. But we already been living in a world where people have two sets of facts and two sets of truth. This shit is like the ultimate test of what world are you living in. And some of the stuff I'm not going to front. I just see like certain types of people sharing it. And I'm like, I know that motherfucker's never right.
Come on.
So like Ben Shapiro is saying certain things. I know I've never seen him be on the side of right. You know what I'm saying? So I take that shit with a grain of salt, you know? Anyway, thanks for listening. Hate to end it on a down note, but also I don't want to just be another person going yuck yuck and hey man, it's crazy to me too. It is crazy to me. We talk about life. We talk about what we think about here, and that's one of the things I've been thinking about. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll be back. Till next time. I love you. Oh, and Tuesday, if everything works out, Ray Sani's gonna be the guest.
Yay, that'll be fun.
So yeah, love her. All right, until next time. I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Talk to you later.